Hello, welcome back to Fables Den, and this is Kim. So I decided to film another impromptu business adventure video because I feel like talking about it. I just seem to have a lot of insights and thoughts and reflections about this topic recently, and I just kind of wanted to get things off my chest and also just share with you, and we're on this journey together. So yeah, so how this got started was it's like a long story and somewhat of a chaotic story as all transformations and insights go, but my last tarot biz adventure video was me talking about how I didn't want to help people and how I didn't really resonate with the role of being a spiritual counselor or being a spiritual figure or being like an authoritative figure or being like a source of guidance who takes a direct approach in someone's life or who wants to be involved in someone's life to hold space for that person. So I talked about how I didn't really resonate with that, which is still true, but like one of you commented and you were like, well, if I were to pick a tarot reader, I want them to care about me. It doesn't sound like that's what you're doing. And I just immediately felt guilty because I was even talking about guilt in that video as well. I was just like, oh, but it's not completely true that I don't care. Like, my heart's still in it. It's just, I have a different approach. And yeah, of course, everyone's, has different types of tarot readers that they're looking for. Could just be your preference. If you're watching this video, hi. Yeah, like I look for specific things from my tarot readers as well, so it's like no big deal ultimately, but it's kind of like it got me thinking. Like, it really got me thinking about who I really want to be. Like, how do I want to show up in this world? Like, what is the gift that I can give? Because I believe everybody has a unique gift. Everybody has a unique perspective, and this gift can be cultivated, can be given in a sense when we connect to the truest part of ourselves, because what we have an abundance of is our gift to the world. That's how we can be of service, and the thing that we have the most is ourselves, because that's who we are at any given moment. We are always available like that. So if you know what I mean, it's like, that's why it's important to be authentic in a heart-centered business, because then you can come from an authentic place of giving, and that's then you don't get exhausted. Of course, self-care and managing your energy is like a different topic, but you know what I mean. It's like the thing that you have the most, the thing that you have an abundance of, is you. It's your vision and your heart and your passion and your love. Because if you're I don't know what that was. If you're genuinely expressing your love from a genuine place, then it's a never-ending source of love, consciousness, creativity, whatever you want to call it. So it really got me thinking, like, who do I want to be through the lens of Fables Den? Like, what do I really want to give to the world? Who am I? Having like a sort of like an on and off existential crisis when it comes to my business. So I just really started to ask those questions, and then while I was asking this question, a lot of things, sort of like, I mean, nothing dramatic, but I was kind of like experiencing different challenges in different areas of my business. Like, for example, my Facebook group. I created that group so I could create a place where people could learn tarot through a storytelling perspective, through, creative storytelling, through fun, through gamification. So it's going to be this fun, awesome place for you to go and be an adventurer and level up your tarot and then defeat bosses and then complete quests and obtain badges and receive gifts for your efforts. And it's going to be a place where we grow together, etc. So that was one thing I was working on. I really had this grand vision for the group, and I just really wanted to implement all my ideas, but I just found myself getting so incredibly burnt out. That was partially because I kind of bit it more than I could chew at the time. Like, I had so much going on, especially now I'm prepping for the launching of my Way of the Panda tarot. I'm just giving that deck my all, because I want it to be an amazing launch on Kickstarter. On Kickstarter in April, so I'm really just giving it my all, and I just discovered that I didn't have all the time that I needed to really run that group. And I had some structures in place to, post regular prompts, to engage with my audience, to engage with the adventurers from that group. And I just kept falling off the horse, and it was really annoying. Like, it was frustrating to me that, I hated when I made a promise to someone, even if it's just people online. I hate it when I have to break that promise, and it's just like taking a toll. And I think part of that is because I bit off more than I could chew. And another reason why I was so burnt out was because I think I tend to overcommit and want to over deliver. And I just feel like if I fall off my perfect streak, then what would people think of me? I just did not want to, sabotage, or just didn't want to put a dent in that perfect image, I guess, which was kind of toxic for me mostly. And yeah, I just felt really bad, and I just didn't really know how to put everything together. And also there was also something there that didn't make sense. Like, I had like creative ideas for the group. Each month we're going to embark on a quest. For example, in March we're going to do intuition, April we're going to do core cards, or May we're going to do major arcana, and then June we're going to do like tarot and writing, etc. So like the quests that are really just honing in on the tarot craft and also just focusing on skill building. And I thought that was a really cool idea because it's sort of like done through the lens of gamification, which is what I'm all about. And it's kind of how I want to talk about my life. So I thought it was a cool idea, but there was just something missing. I just feel like when it comes to tarot, they were just so, I'm just thinking about like all the things that I've created, all the things that I've blogged and written about, vlogged about, drew, illustrated about. I'm just like, it's very eclectic, right? I like to explore different lanes of creativity through the lens of tarot. And I'm just like, what is my tarot thing? Like, what is my lane? What is my tarot lane? I posted about this, about finding your lane. But I can't find my own lane. I'm just like, what am I doing? And I just kind of feel like maybe I'm too perfectionist. Maybe I just feel like I need a focused vision or purpose, or I just need to have some kind of label to kind of separate myself from others, or to really define myself. Or, I was thinking if that was really necessary. Can I just do whatever it is that I'm doing and just let that define me? Let all the things that I create define me. And I think that's true, and that's definitely a valid point. But at the same time, I was just feeling like something was missing. Like, what's my big picture? Like, what's really my identity when it comes to Fables Den? And I think that was part of my frustrations with my group. I was like, I have all these great ideas, but something's not clicking. It just feels too mechanical. Like, I was pretty confident that I could come up with really great activities for tarot to help people grow and improve their tarot skills. But it's like, what am I doing? Like, something's missing. And then it just clicked. It dawned on me that how I've been viewing tarot and how I want to put myself forward as what I want to put myself forward as is not wrong per se, but it's like a very compartmentalized version of myself. How I always talked about, like, I don't really want to be known as a spiritual figure. I don't want to be like a spiritual teacher because I don't resonate with that role. But I think there's a part of me that kind of resists that role. And I want to stay true. I want to say, like, it's still true that I don't feel like I'm a counselor type person, and that's kind of not me. But it's also false to say that I don't really want to share any spiritual insight at all. Like, I'm a pretty, like, I don't like to call myself a spiritual person to the world. Like, I might describe myself maybe to friends or family. I might say something like, oh, I'm pretty spiritual, but I don't want to be like, I'm a spiritual figure, or I'm like a source for you to, I don't want to pose myself as someone who's like, I guess, like a source of wisdom, which is weird. If you think, I don't know if it's weird, but I just don't want to be in that place. I just want to be like, I'm just like a fellow traveler like you, and this is what I've been going through. This is what I've experienced. If you think it's cool, hey, let's travel together. But if not, then that's fine. Like, I don't want to be like, this is where you must go, my underling, or you must believe in yourself, and this is you will meet this monster and you must defeat it, and this is what life has to offer. Like, I don't want to be that person. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to be like, guys, I just discovered that this thing or whatever it is like the best adventure ever, and let's go on it together. And I've been there one time, I would love to go there again, and if you want to come with me, and that's great, I'm going to share with you everything that I know, and we're going to have fun together. So that's sort of like how I want to approach it. You know, like, it's not that I'm not a spiritual, I don't ever want to help someone find themselves or help them develop themselves. It's just that I don't want to be that space holder. I just want to be like, let's go have an adventure together, and then let's see what happens. You know, and I definitely want to share this part of myself with others, like this part of me that's more spiritual, that's introspective. I want to share, you know, my insights and my reflections on life and on spirituality or energy or whatever with the world. And I just don't want to do it in a way that's like didactic or that's like strictly teaching, because I don't know, just don't really resonate with the preaching part. So that got me thinking, right? I was like, you know, like, it's tarot. What I want others to perceive me as, this figure of in the tarot community or whatever, someone who's like creative in their approaches to teaching tarot. I don't know, that's like, I realized that was a very compartmentalized version of myself. And the reason why I say compartmentalized is because I kind of realized that the reason why I study tarot, you know, some people study tarot to really get into the esoteric realm, right? To really study the field, to really want to grow, you know, their skills, grow the craft, etc. And of course, I'm always seeking to grow with tarot, but that's not why I do tarot. That's not why I'm doing, that's not why I love tarot. That's not why I'm loving, you know, I don't love it as a craft. Tarot is a big part of my life. Okay, it's without a doubt one of the biggest things about me, and I just never feel like tarot is my lane. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not that the one thing that when it comes to what I'm about. It's not like that one thing. I practice tarot. I realized I practice tarot. I love tarot so much because it's a tool. It's a gateway. It's a language. It's a whole world that helps me explore myself, helps me develop myself, helps me understand myself, you know, gives me the self-awareness that I need, helps me problem solve, and it gives me the language, the symbolism to talk about my life. Like, I sometimes talk about my relationships in terms of elements, like the 4 suits of tarot, like elements, and it's sort of like, you know, like, it gives me a point of reference when it comes to like what kind of energy do I need to bring to a certain situation, to a certain person. It's part of my, it's where everything, this is sort of like those moments where you just keep rediscovering parts of yourself, and it's kind of like the same thing, but each time you look at it, it has a different layer to it. This was one of those moments where I looked at tarot and I was like, what happened? Why didn't I realize this before? Because tarot has always been the intersection of so many of my passions. For example, cartomancy, archetypes, storytelling, literature, symbolism, imagery, imagination, creativity, writing, everything that's sort of intersected in tarot. But tarot is not the main thing. It's just one of the things that happen to, it's just, I don't know how to describe it, you know. It's like, I love tarot because of the whole language and it's what it represents, in a sense. Like, I've always loved fantastical spaces. I've always loved magical spaces. I'm always passionate about fantasy literature and magic and imagination and being playful and being self-reflective and approaching life and spirituality in a way that makes sense for you, in a way that's fun, through different symbols and interacting with different characters. Honestly, I don't know how to put everything together, but it's just like, tarot is definitely not the front of it. The front of it is my love for magic and my love for imagination and my love for personal growth and self-development and all that jazz. And, you know, and it's not, tarot is not the thing that ties everything together. Tarot is one thing that where everything kind of intersects, but it's like, I'm so much more than just a tarot person, you know? Like I think I realized that and I was like, that's why a lot of things weren't taking off, especially in my group, because I wanted to really focus on the skill craft of tarot, but that wasn't what I was about. I was sort of just, it was glitching on my system because I didn't show up fully. And I didn't do that on purpose, obviously, but I didn't show up fully. And that was just a big light bulb moment that's going to transform how I show up in my business, because I no longer want to like compartmentalize myself, because you know, there were actually evidence of like me trying to do that. I wanted to separate myself from, you know, like the tarot Kim and then the spiritual Kim. Like I actually was thinking of starting another account to share my spiritual and personal development insights. I wanted to call it Panda Inspo because Panda is sort of like my totem. And I wanted to start that account, but it just couldn't, it just, I don't know, it just didn't work either way. And I just feel like, you know, spirituality, personal development, self-awareness, exploration, imagination, these are all me. These are all parts of me. And who am I to separate them? I think why I wanted to separate them was because I was worried that, oh, if I'm like spiritual, then maybe people who just want tarot don't want to hear from me. But if I'm spiritual, maybe they're not really into tarot. So I'm just like, ah. But I really just should not do that, because I should do what makes sense for me, and something I should do what's really a true reflection of me and who I am as a person. And I should just stop worrying about pleasing everyone, because that's, you can't please everyone, and it's just not practical to do that, because you're always trying to be someone you're not, or just you're always trying to be just partially you, which is equally toxic in my opinion. So so that was kind of my big light bulb moment. And I just feel like, why am I trying so hard to like compartmentalize myself? Why am I fighting with myself? Why am I battling myself? Like, why? Like, just show up. Just show up 100%. Just show up completely, and just stop worrying about being rejected or being criticized or being seen as not enough, or seeing as someone who, oh, you don't have the authority to talk about meditation and healing because like, who are you? Whatever. Whatever. I'm gonna talk about what I love, and people are free to choose. You know, like whatever. Like, I'm just gonna stop worrying about like judgment, I guess. I know it's like always been sort of my downfall. You know, like fear of judgment is one of the biggest challenges that I have to consistently overcome, but every time I overcome it, it's just so much better. Like I just feel more integrated, more complete, more whole, more wonderful, more me. And this is another milestone. So yeah, like that's what I realized. I decided that it's not that I don't resonate with, it's not that I don't want to help people, it's not this or that or blah blah blah. I always find reasons for myself to not do something, but it's kind of like, I mean, it's good to have these reflections, but at the same time, it's kind of like, I'm just gonna do what I love. I'm just gonna express what moves me, what inspires me, and I'm gonna put everything together. I'm no longer gonna try to cut myself apart and put them on plates and trying to please different people or different audience. I don't even know, because there's no concrete evidence of people not loving the things I put out. Like a lot of people actually tell me that your stuff is cute and it has this like sense of truth to them. I even said that in my previous videos. I'm just like, why was I not seeing that? Anyway, you know, like life is a journey, right? So you just kind of discover things as you go along. Sometimes you rediscover stuff. So that just happens. So that's my epiphany. That's sort of like what I wanted to get out of my chest in this video, is that I'm not gonna just try to be a tarot person anymore. I'm gonna just be whatever and whoever that I am, this complete package right here. So yeah, I just feel so light after that realization. I just feel like, ugh. You know, I think in the past I sort of came to this conclusion before. Like I try to put that sort of nature forward, but at the same time I withdrew, and there was like some back and forth going on. This is just definitely not the first time I realized this, I feel. But this is just sort of a place where I think I finally got to a place where I think all the fears that were holding me back, that could have held me back, could have held me back this time, is not holding me back. And I just feel like I have a better understanding of what I want to do. And plus this year a lot of things happened. It's really just helping me align with what I really want to create in my life, because I thought I was really sure last year, but apparently I wasn't sure enough. So always something for you to discover. So yeah, like when it comes to my group, I was doing a live today. I actually wanted to do more update in that video, but I was kind of like short on time. I didn't want to drag it out for too long because it's a live video. But what I wanted to say in that live video was how I envisioned my group was, you know, really trying to find a way to make everything sustainable. I really wanted to make that group work. And then there's like a lot of other creative projects that I really want to do as well. And every month, you know, I want to do quest months for that group. Every month is going to be like a quest. I realized that, just to bring a full circle with this conversation, I was thinking that instead of just be like, oh, 1 month we're going to do like intuition. We're going to have a different kind of theme. For example, I'm going to bring in my love for magic and imagination and storytelling and everything all in one. It just makes so much sense, and I didn't know why I didn't think of it. But let's say for July, say the month of July, it's I think I mentioned this in my life, but yeah, let's say the month of July, it's like very nostalgic month, it's summer, and we can do like a month where we're gonna embark on a quest or embark on a journey to Neverland, and Neverland is gonna be the theme of that month instead of just intuition. Because I think when we're engaging with our imagination, it's intuition plus creativity all in one, especially when we're using our imagination, or in a way visualization, to engage with the different archetypes in tarot and also within us. It's sort of like you're traversing a fictional realm, but you're also traversing your own story. So that's really cool. Like I really want to bring that to the play. I'm just getting teary-eyed talking about it. When that happens, when you're like, when tears of joy is like bursting out of the seams of your eyes, you know you're onto something good, okay? So that's what I bring to my group. I'm just gonna be like, have a month where we visit Neverland, and then we're gonna have a month maybe visit the universe of Harry Potter. We're gonna have a month where we go into Wonderland, and we're gonna have a month where we visit dragons or something, and then we're gonna interact with the characters, the archetype energies. We're gonna explore themes like inner child and pirates and then stuff like that. We're gonna do tarot spreads. We're gonna do tarot readings, and then it's gonna be tarot and everything all in once. It's gonna be so great, and I'm just so excited talking about it, and I'm legit so excited. Like this is really my calling, okay? This is my calling, is to, still looking for my punchline really, but that's my calling. That's to inspire you to use your imagination to reimagine your life into something magical with the help of tarot and everything else. So yeah, yeah, feels so good to say that out loud. And I'm sorry I can't remember your name, but thank you for commenting. I got like super defensive, but it was good because it kind of prompted all of this exploration. So thank you for that comment. And thank you for listening. I don't know if this helps you at all, but yeah, if there's any takeaway message, let me try to sum everything up. If there is a takeaway message from this vlog, whatever, is that don't compartmentalize yourself, and don't try to separate parts of yourself and present them on different places to different audiences, thinking that people won't accept your shit because they're a certain type of people. You're breaking down your brand, like you're breaking yourself apart, or you're breaking down yourself. Then you're never gonna be whole. If you do that, true story, I've lived through this, obviously. I find that if you do that, you're never gonna be a complete identity. You're never gonna feel like 100%. That you can never give 100% because you're not 100%. You're only presenting 60% of yourself, or you're only present 56 or 70% of yourself. The rest of those things you can't. Don't reserve those things. And I have learned that it's not healthy to reserve those things. It's not healthy to assume that people don't want that part of you. Just show up 100%, and people who love you 100% will love that 100%. And maybe even they just love 70%. That's still 70%, you know, like people, you know, the audience, it's in and out of your circle, right? Whatever. But it's just like, I think the most important part is you are always going to be 100%. And I think that's the surest way to ensure success and also ensure like you have a healthy relationship with yourself and your business. It's always be 100%. Like, and give, because that's when you can really give 100%. And I don't mean give 100% where you exhaust yourself to the point of like neglecting all self-care and you're just like dying on the floor. No, but I mean that you should always show up 100% and don't censor any part of yourself. And if you feel like you're doing that, you should definitely recover that part of yourself, reintegrate it into your business identity, your creative identity. Give from everything that you have, because that's where abundance comes from. And I've learned that the hard way. Always been dancing with this for like the past few years, but everything is always slowly coming together, and I'm glad it's coming together. I'm glad I'm glad I have this insight now, because imagine if I do this for like the next 10 years and it's like never awakening, which would be tragic. But if there's any takeaway from this video, don't ever compartmentalize yourself. Don't censor yourself in any way. Don't partially censor yourself thinking that you're not going to be accepted. I understand that fear. I understand there's always the fear of judgment, criticism, rejection. Quite horrible. But I think it's worst when you feel like you can't be yourself 100%. Then if you're not yourself 100% and you're in a heart-centered business and you want to serve your purpose and you want to answer your calling, then what's the fucking point? Get out of your own way, you know? Stop like sabotaging yourself. And I say this because I just am coming to realize that that's what I've been doing to myself. So don't make my mistake. Just always show up 100%. And you're gonna find people who appreciate that 100%. So that's an important part. All right. Until next time, be a hero of your own story. Keep calm and tarot on, or keep calm and panda on, because I am a panda and I love pandas, and I will see you next time. Let us.